Hi guys, this is just going to be a really short video for anybody that wants to just do a little bit of yoga every day. Sun salutations are a great place to start, so just give yourself 5 minutes, do them whatever time of day suits you, and I'll talk you through them nice and slowly to start off with, and then you can just build up your own pace, taking any adjustments that you want. So we're going to start at the top of our mat, feet hip distance apart, just standing up nice and tall, pulling up through our thighs, tucking our tailbone under, pulling our tummy in, shoulders are nice and relaxed, gaze looking forward, breathing in as we bring our arms up to the ceiling. Breathing out, hinging from the hips, coming down into our forward fold. Knees can be bent here. Breathing in as we bring our hands to our shins into our halfway lift, so our back's nice and straight, head looking forwards. Breathing out as we bring our hands down to the mat, stepping back into plank or half plank. So we'll start with half plank, dropping our knees down, fingers are nice and spread, hands underneath our shoulders, just untucking our toes, bending our elbows pointing to the back of the room as we lower ourselves down onto the mat. Just untucking our toes, pulling our toes away from us, just creating some space in our hips, coming into our low cobra back bend. So breathing in as we press up through our hands, peeling our head and chest off the mat. Breathing out as we lower down, tucking our toes under, pushing ourselves up on our hands, bringing our weight back towards our heels and lifting our hips up and back towards the ceiling. Just taking a minute here to press the weight through our index finger and the heel of our hand, just bringing our shoulders away from our ears, giving our head a shake and a nod, and just walking out our dog, bringing each heel down towards the mat, nice and slowly. Coming to rest here, our hips are coming up and back, so our knees can be bent if it helps us get our bum higher. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, sighing it out through the mouth. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, walking our feet up towards our hands to the top of the mat, coming into our halfway lift. So our hands are on our shins, our back's nice and straight, our head's looking forward. Breathing out as we fold forward, keeping that bend in our knees. Breathing in, pushing up through our feet, bringing our arms up towards the ceiling. Hands coming up, hands to heart centre. So we'll take that again. Breathing in, hands coming up. Breathing out, hinging from the hips, coming into our forward fold. Remembering we can keep a bend in our knees. Breathing in as we come to our halfway lift, hands are on our shins, back nice and straight, head looking forward. Breathing out, hands coming down, stepping back into plank. Again, the option to drop your knees into half plank or keeping our legs straight, knees lifted, pushing the weight back into our heels, pushing up through our hands, fingers are spread. Bending our elbows, lowering down towards the mat, bringing our head and chest and body down onto the mat, untucking our toes, coming into the back bend of our choice. So we've just done our low cobra. You can press up a little bit higher into cobra or into your upward dog, where arms are straight, weight on the tops of our feet, hips are lifted up off the mat. Breathing out as we lower down. Tucking our toes under, pushing ourselves up on our hands, bringing our bum back towards our heels, lifting our hips up towards the ceiling. Heels coming down towards the mat, but they don't need to be touching. Shoulders away from our ears, head nice and relaxed, pressing into that index finger, the heel of our hand. Heels coming down towards the mat, keeping a bend in our legs if we need. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, stepping or walking our feet up towards the top of the mat. Coming into our halfway lift, hands are on our shins, back nice and straight, head looking forward. Breathing out as we lower down into our forward fold. Breathing in, pushing up through our feet, arms coming up towards the ceiling, hands to heart centre. Breathing in, hands coming up. Breathing out, forward fold. Breathing in, halfway lift. Breathing out, hands coming down, stepping back into plank. Taking a breath here, pushing our weight back into our heels. Nice straight line from our shoulders to our heels. Lowering your knees if you need, or coming down to the mat, keeping our elbows pointing towards the back of the room. Untucking our toes. Back bend of your choice. Lowering down. Tucking our toes under. Pushing our weight back onto our heels and lifting our hips up and back towards the ceiling. Downward dog. Shoulders coming away from our ears, head nice and relaxed. Weight pressing into our hands and our feet. Remembering we can keep our knees bent if it helps us get our hips up higher. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, stepping or walking our feet up to the top of the mat. Coming into our halfway lift. Breathing out as we fold forward. Breathing in, pushing up through our feet, hands coming up to the ceiling. Hands to heart center. One more time. Breathing in, hands coming up. Breathing out, forward fold. Breathing in, halfway lift. Breathing out, hands coming down, stepping back into plank. Taking a breath here, pushing the weight back into our heels. Pushing up through our hands. Lowering down, bending our elbows, pointing towards the back of the room, untucking our toes. Breathing in, back bend of your choice. Breathing out, lowering down. Tucking our toes under, pushing up through our hands, bringing our hips up and back, downward dog. Taking a breath here. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, stepping or walking our feet to the top of the mat. Hands come to shins, halfway lift. Breathing out as we fold forward. Breathing in, pushing up through our feet, hands coming up to heart ceiling. Hands to heart center. Do as many of those as you want, guys. Just a few minutes a day, it'll help your practice. Namaste.